So let's try to understand what is OAuth2 actually in this lecture. So OAuth2 stands for Open Authorization, and the 2 indicates it's a version 2. So before OAuth2, there is a OAuth1 or OAuth simply, which has its own drawbacks. Due to that reason, a new version, an upgraded version of OAuth came with the title OAuth2. So it's a free and open to everyone, which is built on IETF standards and licenses from Open Web Foundation. That means it's an open source framework. Anyone can understand it and adopt it. And there are many organizations in industry which follow OAuth2 framework like Twitter, GitHub, Facebook, Google. So everyone uses OAuth2 framework. So what is the reason why OAuth2 framework is so famous and everyone is adopting? The reason is OAuth2 framework is a delegation protocol. That means it will delegate the authentication and authorization of the user to something else so that we don't have to tie up both authentication and authorization with the business logic that we maintain. So understand in a simple terms, let's try to take 2 examples that we discuss. One is in Easy Bank application where we have 3 different applications for loans, cards and accounts. So instead of maintaining the authentication and authorization logic in all these 3 applications, I can have a single authorization server which handles validating the user credentials and issuing the tokens. So what will happen is all these 3 applications, whenever some user trying to get his loan details or card details, it will ask, do we have a token from the auth server? If not, it will redirect to the auth server to log in there and get the token. Then only I can provide you the protected resource. That's one scenario. The other scenario where we have third-party applications involved like Twitter Analyzer app, where it can allow to analyze my tweets that I made inside the Twitter. So in this scenario, I don't have to really expose my credentials to Tweet Analyzer. So whenever I want to log in this Tweet Analyzer app, it will delegate that login functionality to Twitter by saying, okay, this user is a Twitter user. I don't want to take his credentials to perform authentication and authorization. I will redirect to Twitter authorization server where he can enter his own credentials and I'll get a token from the Twitter which I can use for all further communications to get the resources about the user. So this is one of the other scenario. So basically you can think OAuth2 will allow you to decouple your authentication and authorization flow to another server called authorization server, and at the same time it will encourage you to maintain all your protected resources separately, like my accounts, my loans, my cards, inside a separate server called resource server, which means we are clearly drawing a boundary between authentication and actual protected resources. The auth server can take off authentication and authorization, whereas the resource server will hold the resources, and if someone asks to give the resources, it will ask for the tokens from the auth server. If the token is valid, then only it will give the resources that users are requesting. And the other use of OAuth2 is if we are interacting with third-party applications. Like in many websites, you might have seen, like if you want to sign up very first time, you don't have to enter your last name, first name, email, mobile, because there are fast ways to achieve that by using Google, GitHub, Twitter, Facebook, because already these organizations have a basic information about me, like what is my last name, what is my first name, what is my email. So instead of entering all those credentials again in the new application that I want to sign up, what I can do is I can tell the new application I have my protected resources inside Facebook, like my last name, first name, email. Go and get from the Facebook. So as soon as a user click on the Facebook login inside that application will redirect to Facebook login page where I can enter my credentials. Once my authentication is successful, Facebook will share a token to this new application to get basic details about me so that the registration flow will be fast and efficient. So these are the most common uses of adopting the OAuth2 framework. In many ways, you can think OAuth2 token, the token that is issued by the authorization server inside a OAuth2 framework, is like a temporary access card. So instead of providing the credentials again and again, this temporary access token will help me or will help the third-party APIs to access my protected resources. And whenever that expiry reaches or whenever someone invalidate my access token inside the auth server, definitely I have to re-log in again. So instead of sharing our actual credentials like master key, I'll get a temporary access card, which we call it as a access tokens inside OAuth2 framework. So now we have a basic understanding of what OAuth2. In the next lecture, we'll try to understand what are the different components involved inside the OAuth2 framework to clear our understanding even more further. So don't worry if you're not clear what I'm saying now about OAuth2, because in the coming lectures, you will get more clear understanding about it. Thank you and see you in the next lecture. Bye.